Hello, good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. Mason.
So today we will learn about the endocrine and reproductive system. Please pull up the PowerPoints.
Hello class, today we're going to be learning about the endocrine and reproductive system, and it's going to be presented by Dylan Wynn, Jyde Manson, Tanner Tran, and Charlie Lee. Before we learn about the specifics of the endocrine system, first look at the organs of the endocrine system and where it is. All the way on top is the hypothalamus, then the pituitary, then the pineal, then the thyroid, then the parathyroid, then the thymus, then the adrenal, the kidney, the pancreas, the ovaries for females, the uterus for females, and then the testes. What are the major functions of the endocrine systems? The endocrine system is a system made up of glands that produces and secretes hormones that the body uses to maintain homeostasis. It plays a role in regulating mood, growth and development, tissue functions, metabolism, sexual functions, and reproductive processes. The endocrine system is in charge of the body processes that happen slowly, such as cell growth. Now here's a video of two young men's hormones acting crazy and regulating their mood and sexual functions.
Did you steal the test? What? Oh my god. Yeah. See her? Yo, dude.
What are hormones and what do they do? Hormones are regulatory substances produced in an organism and transported into tissue fluids, such as blood or sap, to stimulate specific cells or tissues into action. They influence their target cells by binding to specific receptors. The hormones are receptors, and the reaction initiates the processing of transforming the chemical messages into a cell response. Receptors are protein molecules embedded in the nuclear membrane or the cytoplasm. Hormones coordinate complex processes like growth, metabolism, and fertility. They can influence the functions of the immune systems and even alter behavior. Before birth, they guide development of the brain and reproductive systems. In response to a signal from the brain, hormones are secreted directly into the blood by the glands that produce and store them. So what are the major organs of the endocrine system? First, the hypothalamus. It coordinates both the autonomic nervous systems and the activity of the pituitary, controlling body temperature, thirst, hunger, and other homeostatic systems, and involved in sleep and emotional activities. Next is the pituitary gland, the major endocrine gland which secretes 9 hormones that controls growth and development and actions of other endocrine systems. Then the pineal gland, a gland behind the third ventricles of the brain that secretes hormones in humans. And then around your neck area, there's a thyroid gland, the gland in the neck that secretes hormones regulating metabolisms. The cell of the gland produces thyroxine, which is made up of the amino acid tyrosine and iodine. Then right under there is the parathyroid gland. It regulates calcium, is located behind the thyroid gland in the neck. The parathyroid gland secretes a hormone called parathormone that is critical in promoting proper muscle functions and bone structures. Next is the thymus gland, a lymphoid organ situated in the neck of the vertebrate that produces T cells, which are white blood cells for the immune system. Next is the adrenal gland. It produces hormones that helps the body control blood sugars, burn proteins and fat, react to stresses like a major illness or injury, and regulate blood pressure. The gland consists of 2 parts, the adrenal cortex and the adrenal medulla. Two of the most important adrenal hormones are the cortisols and the aldosterone. Next is the pancreas. It converts the food we eat into fuel for the body cells, and it functions in the endocrine systems to control blood sugars. Next, in the female's body, there's the ovaries. They produce eggs for fertilization, and they produce the reproductive hormones estrogen and proestrogen. Estrogen is mainly present in the woman during their peak reproductive age. It promotes the development of female sex characteristics. Also, there's the uterus. It sends hormones signals to the ovaries. The uterus is where the fertilized ovum is nurtured, which develops into the fetus, and holding it till the baby is mature enough for birth. Lastly, in male body parts, the testes, it produces sperm and to produce hormones, particularly testosterone. So how does the endocrine system work with other systems? The endocrine system is everywhere, and the chemical produced by the system acts in a variety of ways on every cell of your body. The endocrine system works with the circulatory system because it works as a transport system for endocrine information. It basically works with the circulatory system to send hormones throughout the body where they can be received by various organs and cells, and then put to use through bodily functions. The endocrine system and circulatory system works in tandem, forging a production and distribution network for hormones. Production of hormones is the domain of the endocrine system, which consists of a collection of glands that secrete special chemicals that modulate various functions in the body. Unlike exocrine glands, which use ducts for transporting hormones, endocrine glands release these chemical messengers into the bloodstreams, thereby using the circulatory system as a carrier. Customized receptors on the cells of the organs immediately recognize and receive hormones designated to guide their functions, ignoring all others. Excess hormones that do not bind to receptors remain stored in the bloodstreams. This coordination between the endocrine and the circulatory system is so efficient that the scientific reports suggest that endocrine systems are unlikely to evolve in animals that don't have circulatory systems. Next, the endocrine system works with the nervous system by sending hormones to cells and thereby causing a physical reaction. These hormones provide feedback to the brain and affect neural processing, which gives your body instructions on how and when to react to certain extremes. Other hormones, such as reproductive hormones, affect the development of the nervous system. The last one that I will be teaching y'all is the digestive systems. The endocrine system works with the digestive system through the pancreas, which produces the hormones insulin. When we digest carbohydrates through the digestive systems, they are then transformed into sugars. The pancreas, which is part of the endocrine system, produces the hormone insulin to regulate how fast the sugars are consequently broken down. Therefore, insulin regulates the amount of sugar in the blood.
Comparisons made to other organisms with this same body system. Hormones are chemical substances secreted by big animals and humans from the endocrine gland, and the hormones produced can be compared to pheromones in animals, which are special chemicals secreted by animals, for example, the deer. Pheromones are secreted by the female deer for the purpose of sexual reproduction. Endocrine glands such as the testes, ovaries also secrete hormones for sexual reproduction. Pheromones act as messengers to attract male towards the female, which aids in reproduction, and the hormones secreted by gonads help in the development of secondary sexual characters, which also help in the sexual reproduction. Now, here's a video with Charlie spraying Axe, which is the pheromones that attract other deer.
I wish you would pay more attention to me.
Here are 3 diseases that affect the endocrine system. First, diabetes mellitus. It is a disorder of carbohydrate metabolism characterized by the impaired ability of the body to produce or respond to insulin and thereby maintain proper levels of sugar in the blood. Next, Addison's disease, which is a rare disorder defined by destruction of the outer layer of adrenal glands, which are the hormone-producing organs located just above the kidneys. This disease is when the adrenal glands do not produce enough certain hormones like cortisol. Addison's disease is rare because it only occurs when at least 90% of the adrenal cortex is destroyed. Next, pheochromocytoma tumors, which are most often non-malignant and cause abnormally high blood pressure because of hypersecretion of substances known as catecholamines. Usually the tumor is the medullary cells of the adrenal gland. However, it may arise from extra adrenal chromaffin tissues, which may be located in the sympathetic nervous systems adjacent to the vertebral column, anywhere from the neck to the pelvis or even to the urinary bladder. Fun facts.
Hey, didn't see you there. But did you know there are 30 hormones in the human body?
Hey, did you know that diabetes was once diagnosed by tasting urine? You have diabetes. Hey, did you know that plants produce hormones without the endocrine system?
Oh hey, I didn't see you there. Did you know that hormones are the reason why your arms are the same length, and you can turn food into energy? And it's the reason why you grow during puberty.
Next is the reproductive system. What are the major functions of the female reproductive system? The female reproductive system has two functions. The first is to produce egg cells, and the second is to protect and nourish the offspring until birth. What are the major functions of the male reproductive system? The male reproductive system's function is to produce and deposit sperm into the female reproductive tract during sex. Humans have a high level of sexual differentiation. In addition to the differences in nearly every reproductive organ, numerous differences typically occur in secondary sexual characteristics. We will now play a video.
You steal the test?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
See her?
Yo, dude.
Similarities of the male and female reproductive systems. The primary function of the reproductive system of both male and female is to produce sex cells and to ensure growth and development of offspring. The growth and activity of these organs and structures is regulated by hormones. They both develop similar embryonic tissue, which means that they are homologous. They both have gonads that produce gametes. Both experience maturation in the reproductive organs, which become functional during puberty. Next, differences between male and female reproductive systems. Female and male genitalia are different in the organs and functions of the organs. Sex cells in females are created in the ovaries, where the eggs are formed, while sex cells in the males are created in the testes, where sperm cells are created. The male sex organ is located outside the body, but the female sex organ is located internally. Males produce testosterone and androgen, while females produce progesterone and estrogen.
Now is a diagram of the male and female reproductive system. So in the female organs, there's a labia majora, which is a larger lip-like external structure that covers and protects sexual structures. The labia minora is a smaller lip-like external structure found inside the labia majora. They provide protection for the clitoris and for the urethra and vaginal openings. The clitoris is a very sensitive sexual organ located in front of the vaginal opening. It contains thousands of sensory nerve endings and responds to sexual stimulation. And the vagina is a fibrous muscular canal leading from the cervix to the external portion of the genital canal. And the uterus is a muscular internal organ that houses and nurtures female gametes after fertilization. Also called the womb, the uterus is where a developing fetus resides during pregnancy. The fallopian tubes are uterine tubes which transport egg cells from the ovaries to the uterus, and fertilization typically occurs in these tubes. And for the ovaries, it's a female primary reproductive structure that produces gametes and sex hormones. There's one ovary on each side of the uterus. Now for the male organs. Now for the first organ, it's the penis, which is the main organ involved in sexual intercourse. And this organ is composed of erectile tissues, connective tissues, and skin. The urethra extends through the length of the penis, allowing urine and sperm to pass. The testes, which is a male primary reproductive structure that produces male gametes, which are sperms and sex hormones. The scrotum is an external pouch of skin that contains the testes. Because the scrotum is located outside of the abdomen, it can reach temperatures that are lower than the lower than the internal body structure. Temperatures that are lower than the internal body structures. Lower temperatures are necessary for proper sperm development, and the epididymis is a system of ducts that receive immature sperm from the testes. And its function is to develop immature sperm and to house mature sperm. The ductus deferens or vas deferens is a fibrous muscular tube that there are fibrous muscular tubes that are continuous with the epididymis and provide a pathway for sperm to travel from the epididymis to the urethra. The ejaculatory duct is a duct formed from the union of ducts, yeah, deferens, and seminal vesicles. Each ejaculatory duct empties into the urethra. The urethra is a tube that extends from the urinary bladder through the penis, and this canal allows the excretion of reproductive fluids and urine from the body, and sphincters prevent urine from entering the urethra while semen is passing through. The seminal vesicles are glands that produce fluids to nurture and provide energy for sperm cells, and tubes leading from the seminal vesicles join the ductus deferens to form the ejaculatory duct. The prostate gland is a gland that produces a milky alkaline fluid with increases sperm motility, and the contents of prostate empty into the urethra. The bulbourethral or Cowper's glands are small glands located at the base of the penis in response to sexual stimulation, and these glands secrete an alkaline fluid which helps to neutralize acidity from urine in urethra and acidity in the vagina. So, how does the reproductive system work with others? In the endocrine system, first of all, specific endocrine organs of the body help orchestrate virtually all reproductive functions, and without them, the gonads would never mature to adult functional status during adolescence, and the gametes would not be produced, and subsequent effects mediated by the gonadal hormones would fail to occur. We would forever remain sexually infantile with a childlike reproductive system. And on the other hand, if testosterone were not secreted by the tiny male fetal testes, the male reproductive tract would not be formed to begin with. For the muscular system, the skeletal muscles too increase in size and mass and become capable of great strength. And testosterone in particular is the muscle builder. Although the gonadal hormones do not act alone and their effects are superimposed on those of growth hormone and thyroid hormone, they certainly promote adult stature and are responsible for the musculoskeletal changes that distinguish the sexes anatomically. And for the skeletal system, once the reproductive system gonads are up and running, they in turn start producing hormones that not only cause maturation of their own systems, ancestry organs, and help maintain gametogenesis, but also are crucial for the incredible growth spurt that occurs during puberty and converts the child's body into an adult's body. The most important effect are the anabolic effects exerted on bone and skeletal muscle, and the skeleton becomes taller, heavier, and denser. And in females, its pelvis is shaped to accommodate birth. And Although a woman's reproductive years, estrogen helps maintain a healthy bone mass. Um, Major comparisons to organisms. So we can compare these. We compare it to humans, which we produce sexually, and we need a sperm to fuse the egg, and then we can compare it to reproduction of a flowering plant because it needs winds or insects to help it reproduce, and the pollen grains will be fused with the ovules. Sexual reproduction produces offsprings by fusion of gametes, uh, resulting in offspring genetically different from the parent or parents. And asexual reproduction produces new individuals without the fusion of gametes, genetically identical to the parent plant and each other, except when mutation occurs. And in seed plants, the offspring can be packaged in protective seed, which is used as an agent of dispersal. And when we compare it to a fish, some fish reproduce by laying eggs, and the eggs grow and hatch into fry in about 7 to 10 days, but can vary. And some fish, known as egg scatters, will do just as the name implies. They scatter their eggs in various areas where for a while the male follows behind and fertilizes the eggs. The methods of reproduction in fishes are varied, but most fishes lay large numbers of small eggs. And the eggs of pelagic fishes usually remain suspended in the open water, and many shore and freshwater fishes lay eggs on the bottom or among plants. Some have adhesive eggs. The mortality of the young and especially of the eggs is very high, and often only a few individuals grow to maturity out of hundreds, thousands, and in some cases millions of eggs laid. Alright, so for the reproductive system of plants, the reproduction in plants is either asexual or sexual. Asexual reproduction in plants involves a variety of widely disparate methods of producing new plants identical in every respect to the plant to the parent. Sexual reproduction, on the other hand, depends on a complex series of basic cellular events involving chromosomes and their genes that take place within an elaborate sexual apparatus evolved precisely for the development of new plants in some respects different from the two parents that played a role in their production. The female reproductive organs in the female reproductive system of plants, there is a pistil, which is the collective term for carpel. Each carpel includes an ovary, and ovules are the female reproductive cells. And there's also a style, which is a tube on top of the ovary and the stigma, which receives the pollen during fertilization. And for the male reproductive organs, there's a stamen, which is a male reproductive part of a flower, and a stamen consists of an anther, which produces pollen, and a filament. The pollen consists of male reproductive cells, and they fertilize ovules, and pollen must fertilize an ovule to produce a viable seed. This process is called pollination and is often aided by animals like bees, which fly from flower to flower collecting sweet nectar as they visit flowers. They spread pollen around, depositing it on some stigmas. After males' pollen grains have landed on stigma during fertilization, pollen tubes develop the style burrowing down to the ovary, where the sperm fertilizes on ovum in the ovule. And after fertilization, the ovule develops into a seed in the ovary. Okay. 3 diseases that affect the reproductive system. So the first disease is a syphilis, which is a sexually transmitted disease caused by a bacteria, and syphilis can cause serious health sequelae if not adequately treated. Syphilis is transmitted from person to person by direct contact with a syphilitic sore. known as a canker. Cankers can occur on around the external genitals, in the vagina, around the anus, or in the rectum, or in or around the mouth. Transmission of syphilis can occur during vaginal, anal, or oral sex, and in addition, pregnant women with syphilis can occur during vaginal, anal, or oral sex. And this average time between acquisition of syphilis and the start of the first symptom is 21 days, but can range from 10 to 90 days. Okay, so and then this chlamydia is a common STD that can affect both men and women, and it causes serious permanent damage to women's reproductive system. This can make it difficult or impossible for her to get pregnant later on. Chlamydia can also cause a potentially fatal ectopic pregnancy. You can get chlamydia by having vaginal, anal, or oral sex with someone who has chlamydia. If your sex partner is male, you can still get chlamydia even if he does not ejaculate. If you've had chlamydia and were treated in the past, you can still get infected again. And this can happen if you have unprotected sex with someone who has chlamydia. And for the erectile dysfunction, which is an inability to get and keep an erection firm enough for sex, male sexual arousal is a complex process that involves the brain, hormones, emotions, nerves, muscles, and blood vessels. Erectile dysfunction can result from a problem with any of these. Likewise, stress and mental health concerns can cause or worsen erectile dysfunction. Sometimes a combination of physical and psychological issue can cause erectile dysfunction. For instance, a minor physical condition that slows your sexual response might cause anxiety about maintaining an erection. The resulting anxiety can lead to or worsen erectile dysfunction. Physical causes are heart diseases, obesity, sleep disorders, etc. The best way to prevent erectile dysfunction is to make healthy lifestyle choices and to manage any existing health conditions and work with your doctor to manage diabetes, heart disease, or other chronic health.
Oh, hey there. Did you know that 1 in every 2,000 women have double uteri?
Hey, did you know that the sperm is the smallest human body cell and that the egg is the largest human body cell?
Did you know that every woman's vagina has the same pH level as a tomato at 4.5?
Did you know that in a woman's lifetime, she will ovulate 300 to 400 of the 1 to 2 million eggs she's initially born with? And on the other hand, a man will produce over 500 billion sperms. That's far more gametes than any woman has ever been born with. All right, kids, it's now time to take a quiz. On what we.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So that's it, like that one time. Get off your phone. Hey class, now that you've looked at the presentation, it's time to take a quiz. Okay, so first question, which one is a major function of the endocrine system? A, produce egg cells, B, break down food, C, secretes hormones, or D, maintain breathing? The answer is C, secretes hormones. Next question, which of the following is not a job of the hormones? A, influence the function of the immune system, B, coordinate your metabolism, C, coordinate your growth, or D, carry offspring until birth? The answer is D, carry offspring until birth. Next question, which of the following is a major organ for the endocrine system? A, the kidney, B, the ear, C, the nose, or D, the hair? The answer is A, your kidney. Which of the following body systems do the endocrine system work with? A, nervous system, B, digestive system, C, urinary system, or D, respiratory system? The answer is A, your nervous system. Next question, which of the following is an endocrine system disease? A, Addison disease, B, asthma, C, diabetes, or D, malaria? The answer is A, Addison disease. What do males and females produce in the reproductive system? A, pollen and stolon, B, eggs and sperms, C, hormones, or D, tears? The answer is B, eggs and sperms. How are female and male reproductive systems similar? A, they both produce eggs and sperms. B, they both have penises. C, they both produce sex cells. Or D, they both ovulate. The answer is C, they both produce sex cells. Which one is not a female organ? A, the clitoris. B, the fallopian tube. C, the labia majora. Or D, seminal vesicles. The answer is D, seminal vesicles. Does pollen come from the male or female part of a plant? A, male. B, female. C, both. Or D, neither. The answer is A, male. Which one is a reproductive system disease? A, erectile dysfunction. B, diabetes. C, breast cancer. Or D, athlete's foot. The answer is A, erectile dysfunction.